Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name is Dennis Den, and welcome back.
Tony Revis in the house.
Yes,
Back.
You're back. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah, like
Month and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I think I saw you. Last time I saw you was
E3.
E3.
Yeah.
How was your E3?
Right after E3. It was great.
Yeah.
It was my first E3.
Okay.
And it's like Disneyland in a lot of ways. It's
because you got to wait in line.
Exactly. It's the happiest place on earth for me, but also I was like, oh man, you don't get to do much.
No,
you got to plan
it's
it
a lot
out.
of cool stuff that you want to do, and you can't do everything, and you got to
Yeah.
wait in line, and so you end up doing some of the stuff you want to do, but
Yeah.
not all the stuff you want to do.
Two or three things a day if you're lucky. That's the way it goes.
It's a good experience. It's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Speaking of E3, one of the things we're going to talk about is Gamescom, which is
E3 on steroids.
yes, it's over in Germany every year. I think technically it's larger than E3, right?
Okay, so this is what I heard. So I have a contact who works for Xbox, and he's a part of Project xCloud. He said, so E3, there was like 60,000 people there.
Yeah.
He was flying to Germany last weekend to go there, and I saw him the day before, and he said they were expecting 400,000.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
like,
it's crazy.
It's like
But
eight times E3.
But the thing is like, at least, I don't know, maybe they have various different rooms. I don't know because I've never been there. But
It's much bigger.
But like the space, like when we're going to talk about Death Stranding, but the space that it looked like looked fairly small.
For the opening night.
I don't know what
thing.
it was, but it was for Death Stranding. They had fans there and like.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It just didn't look that big from that.
But apparently the entire conference is much bigger than E3.
Okay.
So like how there's the two main halls for E3 and then Xbox is across the street. Take those two main halls. There's like four of them for Gamescom apparently.
Yeah.
But
so even before Gamescom started, we got hit with this big news. Not totally unexpected,
right.
but Sony, they bought Insomniac Games, which is the developer of the Spider-Man game. Now they are become a first-party studio. And it was not unexpected because you saw Microsoft buying up third-party studios and making them first-party studios. And Sony really, they had, their first-party developers as well, but they hadn't been acquiring any new ones lately.
Right. It's been a while.
And, this was a no-brainer, right? I mean, they developed Spider-Man, which was exclusive on the PlayStation platform, did tons of sales, sold a lot of systems. Why wouldn't you do that?
Right. Especially in their history with Sony as well. Like, Sunset Overdrive's kind of like the only main game they've done that isn't, like, known as PlayStation. From Spyro to Ratchet and Clank, like, all those titles, you think PlayStation when you think of those titles. So it seems like a pretty seamless transition. It seems like a nice marriage to have, especially with the success of Spider-Man.
I'm wondering if Microsoft ever contemplated or were ever in negotiations to buy Insomniac.
Maybe. They did Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
That was there, but I think once Spider-Man was such a commercial success, it just makes
must have been in the
sense.
works since then.
Yeah.
This came out before the kind of more upsetting news for Sony, which is that in their movie properties, they still have the Spider-Man license. They can still make Spider-Man movies. But as of right now, as we record it, because things can change, because there's been rumors jumping around.
Yeah.
Right now, Spider-Man is no longer in the MCU. So this kind of came out. It was like Spider-Man fans were super happy when they heard this. Like, Sony's buying Insomniac. They're gonna like probably rush that next Spider-Man sequel to come out on the next gen PlayStation console, PS5, and then they got hit with this one, which there's all kinds of like, who's to blame? Does Disney want too much money? Is Sony not budgeting enough? There's still rumors out that they're still working on possibly negotiating a deal.
I'd be shocked if they're not.
I mean, D23 is happening right now. People are commenting like, "Oh, Spider-Man stuff's still on all the promotion." Of course, this news just came out a few days ago. They're not. All those things have been sent to the printers. The artwork and everything was done a long time ago.
And Far From Home's still in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even though he's technically not going to be Spider-Man 3 is not going to be part of the MCU. He was part of the MCU for Spider-Man Far From Home and Homecoming. And so, yeah, they're not going to change that up. But anyways, what does it exactly change for the games division? I think the more, I guess they'll be less likely to get any type of, I don't know, connection to the MCU. I mean, it wasn't really connected anyways.
Right. Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that to be the case anyways. And then now that we've kind of seen with all the Avengers trailers for Gamescom, the ones that people have seen at E3, those private demos, but now it's made public, you can kind of see even that game has separated itself from Spider-Man PS4 just with the different designs of New York and the Avengers Tower and stuff. You can see, okay, maybe these... Because there was maybe some hope and rumors that maybe they were in the same universe just from, like, little Easter eggs that Spider-Man was talking about in the Insomniac game. Like, oh, they're on the West Coast, and that's the plot of the prologue of the Avengers game. But it seems like that's kind of been distanced as well. But I don't know if the MCU was ever going to have any impact on the games division, especially with the Spider-Man series.
Yeah. And then other kind of silly news, and I always kind of make fun of these things. Like, people are like boycotting Sony and PS4 over Spider-Man leaving the MCU, starting petitions. Like, I don't get it. It's like
this should have been done before. This is what happens when you go see Venom in theaters. When you see a great movie, they're like, oh, we can make a ton of money.
But that's
by
the thing
ourselves.
is Venom was one of those things that helped Sony in their minds say, oh, we made this movie. We don't need Marvel. We did that one, and they did Into the Spider-Verse, which was fantastic, by the way.
Right.
So it's not that Sony isn't capable of it, but Venom, on the other hand, was not. Like, I know some people are like big fans of that movie. I was not one.
No.
And so they're like, oh, we can make really good money-making Spider-Man movies. We don't need the MCU. You know, who knows what happened in the negotiations. But anyways, people are like boycotting Sony, and they're basically saying they're not going to watch any of the Sony Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Venom movies, and apparently the PS4 over Spider-Man. I think it's all silly. I think. Look, am I disappointed? Let's say this sticks and Spider-Man does not go back to MCU. Am I disappointed? For sure. I want Spider-Man to be in the MCU. It's almost kind of a tease that we got him as long as we did, and then now it's not happening. But let's say that stays permanent. I'm still gonna go watch the Spider-Man movie, and also. We don't know if it's good or bad yet.
Right.
You're just guessing. Like, okay, it's not part of the MCU. Well, guess what? It wasn't part of the MCU beforehand. And you had not all great Spider-Man movies, but you had mixed results. You had good ones. You didn't have good, mediocre ones, whatever. But what I'm saying is you got to at least give the first one a chance and watch it and see if it's any good.
I don't know. So I didn't see Venom in theaters out of principle. I was like, no, I don't want them to have my money. I don't want this movie to be a success because I don't want them to think they can do this. And sure enough,
you were thinking ahead of the game.
And because I was like, well, how can you make a Venom movie
PG-13?
No, but sure. But even just like with no ties to Spider-Man. Yeah. Like their characters are so intertwined. That's the whole purpose of Venom. I was like so confused about that.
I was putting money that there would be an Easter egg that tied it back to whatchamacallit, to Spider-Man.
Yeah. But I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I have a little pop socket on my phone. I'm huge Spider-Man fan, and this news of him not being in the MCU is devastating, and I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know what you do. Like, he can't talk about the Avengers now. He can't talk about how do you make a Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland? You just have to erase everything that he's been through. Because you can't talk about Tony Stark now. You can't talk about Thanos. You can't talk about him being an Avenger. And they did, no spoilers, but they made such a huge parallel in the last movie.
Oh, yeah.
How do you just ignore all that now? It's almost going to be a soft reboot, which is, I can't do it again. I can't. They finally got it right. But when it comes to this, so I don't know how I feel about the movies. If push comes to shove and it's not in the MCU, I don't know how I'm going to feel. But with this news of like people, but tying it back to games, we are talking about games here, with like boycotting the PS4 and Sony there. All right. You better believe that when the Spider-Man sequel comes out on PS4 or PS5 or whatever, I'm playing that day one. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is a separate issue to me.
Yeah,
I'm not
well, we talked about this boycott last week about Borderlands 3 because of some
tying into a future story we're going to talk about later, sometimes we're a bunch of asshats, with this kind of thing.
So, anyways, I think it's all kind of silly, unfortunate about the MCU. It still can happen.
I still believe.
It can still happen. So that news, unfortunate news. Well, good news first with the Sony buying Insomniac.
Because I can't wait to see what Insomniac can do now with with some more resources that Sony can give them. Being first party, they can really, bring the house down. I hope.
So that was good news, and then you had the side bad news. Yeah. But it doesn't really affect the game that much.
I don't think so.
Another big stuff coming out of Gamescom is Death Stranding.
Yeah,
a lot of trailer. They had that one trailer where Norman Reedus' character is pissing. Your character pisses.
Death Stranding's a pee simulator. We still don't know what it is. What is this? Is it a pee? And they're like,
and then a mushroom grows.
They tried so hard. Like, no, you can't see him. Like they tried to do both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no. I was like, yeah, of course they're not gonna do that. But yeah, mushrooms. You're just making mushrooms.
And then you're making ladders that you can use to climb up mountains.
Every new trailer, every new character they announce, it doesn't shed more light on what it is. It just makes me more confused.
I watched this one video where I think it was someone on IGN was explaining, kind of trying to explain what the story was. Basically that the United States is in disarray. Mm-hmm. And
you can see it says like United Cities of America now.
And like these cities are like not connected. Mm-hmm. And somehow your character is supposed to help connect them.
Right.
And I don't know what that has to do with the baby. I don't know what it has to do with the Shadow Realm thing where it goes into...
That's what they started to... With Guillermo del Toro's character from the Gamescom trailer, when they announced his, starting to shed more light on what that aspect is, where, there's all this stuff going on that we can't see, but the baby energy can or whatever, so that's why you sync up with the baby, and it's got to be in a womb-like environment, so that's why he's wearing a baby around, and oh my gosh, you got to rock the baby to sleep when it gets all fussy. What is happening?
Yeah,
I'm so intrigued. I want to know more.
Yeah,
but
it's just funny. It's like two gameplay mechanics that we saw was peeing and taking the baby out of its little vessel and rocking it because he was crying because I think he fell down or something like that. Also, I mean, there was a ton of videos, but there was the Jeff Keighley video.
Yeah.
Where it's funny because it's Jeff Keighley. He said that I watched an interview with him, and he said Hideo Kojima had scanned him many years ago. Didn't tell him what it was for, and then a week or two ago he found out he was in the game.
Yeah.
But it's not his voice.
Yeah, someone else is doing the voice acting.
I think Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
So someone else is doing his voice. It's his face.
I think there's going to be a ton of that.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago when Kanye West tweeted, he's like, "Oh, I heard Hideo Kojima's in New York. Can anyone link us up?" So don't be surprised if we see Kanye in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we already have Guillermo. We have Nicholas Winding Refn. We have Mads Mikkelsen in there. I'm sure there's some other ones, but yeah. Strange. I also saw another interview with Jeff Keighley talking about there's a multiplayer, which I don't know how this game is can be a multiplayer game.
I remember them talking about it earlier where it's not, I don't think it's necessarily going to be multiplayer, but I think we're all playing at the same time. So if we all pee in the same spot, there'll be a lot of mushrooms type of thing. But it's we're not necessarily playing multiplayer, but it's all kind of...
all connected or whatever. We're all in different, variations, parallel universes that, affect each other.
This is definitely Hideo Kojima's, Sergeant Pepper. I think he's in his acid phase right now.
Oh, he's watching this game. The thing is the graphics look fantastic.
Yeah,
game design looks great.
Looks great.
I'm just watching Norman Reedus' character just walking around. It looks cool. Will it be fun? I don't know.
It doesn't look fun because we haven't seen anything yet.
I mean, I've seen a little bit of combat.
Yeah, we saw that like 9-minute trailer they released, the release date trailer a few months ago. Like, it was like there's actually guns in this game. Like he had an assault rifle at one point, and it was like shooting things. I was like, okay, cool. And then you had to melee fight there's a bunch of people trying to fight you, and then you dropped your inventory if you got hit. And I was like, that's gonna frustrate me.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna get hit a lot because it looks kind of slow and clunky because you got a bunch of stuff on your back and you have a baby in your front, and just this game's gonna give me so much anxiety. It already is. It already is stressing me out. Because apparently,
Yeah. So, and then I think as the months go on, we're gonna.
It's almost here.
Yeah, that's true.
3 months.
Yeah, but
2 months. 2 more months.
Even if they show more trailers and more whatever, you still don't.
Don't.
I still don't think we'll know what the hell the game is.
And then they did a character trailer about a month ago where it's the guy who died. He's only alive every 26 minutes or something. He's alive for 26 minutes. What? What is happening?
Yeah, so that was very interesting stuff. It's basically this game is being sold on Hideo Kojima's name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
That's it.
And then they're
you just have to, if you're a fan,
you got to just trust it.
You got to trust.
Yeah, because it's funny just watching people trying to explain.
It's tricky too, because in these days, like I remember back in like the 90s or whatever, like you'd get a game, you wouldn't know. You didn't know if it was good or bad. There's no reviews or nothing. Now you can wait for reviews to come out. You can watch gameplay of it. But this is a kind of game that like I want to experience it blind. Like I don't want to watch a playthrough before I play it because it's going to be that kind of experience. But at the same time, I'm really worried
You are.
that I'm going to get it. I'm like, why did I get this? I don't know what I'm doing.
We'll see.
It's a toss-up. It's a toss, especially in the time frame like this fall. Like there's so many games coming out. It's we'll see. We'll see.
Another big game is Cyberpunk 2077. That got announced for Google Stadia. I don't think I've talked to you. Have we talked about Google Stadia before?
We did. Yeah, we talked about it in this, in the spring, like when they first kind of announced it.
Okay.
And how we thought it was going to be more of a subscription-based thing, but turned out that's not what it was.
Well, it is, but it isn't.
Right. So I was like, what's the point? It's
like
pretty
it
much,
is, but it's like
it doesn't
limited.
come with it. It doesn't come with games.
No,
you still have to buy your games.
But if you pay for the subscription one, you get access to free games. But it's like more like Xbox Gold, where like every month they're like, okay,
they said
they're not throwing you a AAA. They're not throwing you Assassin's Creed Odyssey. No. They're not throwing you Cyberpunk 2077. They're throwing you something else.
Yeah.
For that subscription.
And even the quote they said when that came out was, you can get like one free game a month, give or take. It's like, how do you give or take? So sometimes none? Like what? It's a weird statement to make. I'm still confused on.
I'm hoping that means it's one minimum and then two, maybe sometimes two if the games are smaller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. How are you? Are you in on this?
No, not yet. I do believe, and I mentioned this several times. I do believe cloud streaming gaming is the future.
Absolutely.
Because when you think about it, it's like, and this is something they mention as well, I just think they're just not there yet, is like you don't have to keep buying new consoles because they upgrade their system.
Side, yeah.
And all you do is you have the same
to their side.
Exactly. So I do believe this is the future of gaming. I just don't know if this is the right model, and also I don't know if Google Stadia is the right ones, or Google themselves are the right ones. Obviously, Google is one of the largest companies in the world, and they could possibly do it, but they aren't that experienced in games. Where you have Microsoft Xbox, you have Sony PlayStation, and Nintendo, but more so, with Microsoft's xCloud. Even Sony's hopping on that thing.
Right.
They do have the relationships with the third-party developers, plus they have their own first-party developers. Right. We haven't really seen, like, where's the Google exclusive, We don't know. And if it is, it's like I see this Orcs Must Die 3 is exclusive.
Okay.
That's not...
That's not a system seller.
Yeah, exactly. Or subscription seller, which, that is the future model. It's these gaming subscriptions are going to mimic this whole Netflix, Amazon, Prime, Disney Plus thing.
If you look at what Xbox is already doing with like Game Pass Ultimate, is amazing. And I don't have an Xbox, So at E3, when they announced the Ultimate, where now there's Game Pass on PC and it's all attached into one thing, that made me very excited because now I've been able to play games that I had to miss because I can play on my PC now, which is great. My biggest concern with Google Stadia is you got to have good internet.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, they're slowly, like some of the figures, they've reduced the I guess, minimum specifications for it for 1080p. So as time goes on, they're going to get those better and better. But you're right.
I would have to upgrade.
It's also consistency. Like my place, like literally, like sometimes my place is like super fast. And sometimes it's so slow.
Yeah, it depends if there's other people using the Wi-Fi in the apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would definitely have to upgrade my internet to make this work. So then I look at that price. What am I upgrading now?
How much is it going to cost you to then buy a console instead?
Exactly. Put that over a 12-month span because, and that's just 1 year. I've used my PlayStation for 3 or 4 years now, you know?
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed Odyssey, when they first were doing it, it took 25 megabits per second to get 1080p. Now they're down to 15.
Yeah.
15 to 10. So it's getting better.
But still, it's still
a lot to be, especially for consistency wise. Because, I get that sometimes at my place.
Right.
I don't know. And also, Wi-Fi connection is so finicky.
Right.
Like, imagine playing and, just goes out, Yeah.
Look, I just hate to, especially how many times, just for some reason at 2 a.m, I have to unplug my router.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to stop playing my game because my internet's down for some reason.
Yeah, and also, I admittedly don't play a ton of multiplayer online games, right? I do some, I play some little Apex Legends, I'll throw some Halo multiplayer, whatever. But in general, I'm playing single-player games. So I never have to worry about how fast my Wi-Fi is, right?
Yeah.
So what if I'm playing a single-player game and then my Wi-Fi cuts out or goes slow? I'll be really annoyed. It's I don't even need to be online. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I guess we're giving Google a lot of flack for this, but this is going to be the same issues that every company is going to run into.
Microsoft, Sony, this is the same issues.
But it's just with Google throwing their hat in the ring, running into these same problems, but that's the only way you get to use their service, where I can go get an Xbox, I can go get a PlayStation. So there's at least options elsewhere.
Yeah, so the regular Stadia is free, but obviously you have to buy the games. Those are 1080p only. So for $10 a month, you can do 4K 60 frames per second. And also get free games,
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, they're gonna. I guess the regular version is called Stadia Base. It's gonna be in next year, 2020. It's interesting. It's the forefront. I'm not saying this technology is bad, and I do think it's gonna happen. It's just, let's see how the model ends up turning out.
It's just, especially with, I couldn't believe when they announced that it had nothing to do with, games, when the subscription, besides your free game or whatever. Where Xbox now, I'm rooting for Microsoft to get as many studios for first party as they can because all of their first party titles are day one on Game Pass.
That's whatchamacallit. This is, I don't think this is first party, but I just saw Blair Witch is going to be on Game Pass for day one.
Yep. And so I'm Outer Worlds. I get to play day one on Game Pass. And I made out like a bandit at E3 with those scratchers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I got Game Pass Ultimate for free for a year and a half.
Nice.
It was awesome. So,
nice.
But all these games, Gears 5 coming out. I wouldn't play Gears 5, but I get it day one on Game Pass for free. Or I guess it wouldn't be free, but still, even if you're just paying $15 a month or whatever, it's the same you're going to pay for Stadia, give or take. But you're actually getting
more.
Yeah,
the access to your games is a lot more.
So I still don't know who this is for. Who's the target here? Is it people that don't want to get a console? But why wouldn't you want to get a console? It's not gonna. This is gonna have better.
I think
gameplay.
They're saying if you don't want to invest that initial $300, $400,
if you want to space it out, go to a Microsoft store and lease an Xbox. They do that now. You know what I mean?
Well, right now this generation has come to the point where you don't want to buy in now. Well, no. I mean, you can get like a Xbox One S for $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's not $300, $400.
Next ones are going to be probably $500.
Yes. Once the next generation. So I think the Stadia is picking a right time to launch because you want to get that in between time where it's like, okay, people are ready to transition to that next console.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll try this out. Mortal Kombat 11's on that list as well as new games that are coming out. But really, it's the exclusive. I still don't understand, like with Google Stadia, also with Apple Games or whatever. I just don't know where the pull is.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Admittedly, I'm being, maybe a little extra critical of this just because I don't see where it lines up with my needs as a consumer. But I guess that just leaves room for me to be pleasantly surprised if it's like something that, oh yeah, this is a great deal, but I'm still buying the game, so I still don't see the point if I already have a console.
Yeah.
But if it comes when 2020 rolls around and we're moving on to the Scarlet and we're moving on to PS5, and I'm like, well, I got to buy those games, but I don't have to spend $500 on a console, I guess.
Yeah. I guess my problem is this. So I have an Xbox, right? I don't have a PlayStation. There's tons of stuff I want to play on the PlayStation, like Last of Us, Remastered, Spider-Man, God of War.
Yeah.
But that's still on Sony on a console. So it's not like I can access that.
Win.
Like if a Google Stadia had those games on there and I'd be like, cool, that makes me, like I don't have to buy the Sony console. I can play that there.
That's what's always going to come back down to. I'm going to get a PS5 because I'm going to have to play God of War. I'm going to have to play Spider-Man. I'm going to have to play Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
So end of the day, sorry, Google, like what do you want from me?
Yeah, so until they can get to that level of where they have those quality of exclusive games, and I'm sure that's probably something they're working towards, but it's not easy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, even Microsoft had issues with it this generation, right? Yeah. They had like very few exclusives, AAA titles.
That's why they're like, oh, let's buy up these studios. So, but I don't see any game company worth, any AAA, studio being like, yeah, let's ride with Google.
They're going to have to buy them.
Suicide.
They're going to have to buy them.
That's suicide to not have your game at least on Xbox or PlayStation.
Google will have to buy them just like Sony bought Insomniac. They have to throw down cash and be like, like imagine if they had bought Insomniac Games and be like, okay, the next, I know there's already an Avengers game coming out, but let's say they were making an Avengers game. It's only going to be on Google Stadia. Then you can get some people to come in and at least try it.
People are going to buy that game.
Yeah.
But, oh, man. But then I think those companies know they'd be. But the thing is, they're losing money by not having their game on Xbox or PlayStation.
Yes. And remember, even though it's a far less cost, you still have to buy the controller, right?
Yeah. Well, you can. I think you can. It's compatible with like an Xbox controller.
Is it?
I think they said something like that.
That would help them a lot.
Depending on your. Well, I mean, it depends. If you're playing on your PC.
Because I know, like,
but if you're playing on like a Google Chromecast or something like that, then you need the Stadia controller. But if you're just using your PC,
I was just thinking some people will want to play on their television sets
directly, right to it,
with a Chromecast or whatever,
or on your phone or tablet or whatever you're doing.
So, very interesting.
So keep our eyes on, but I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
It would have to be something shocking like that. Where it'd have to be like you can only play
Uncharted on
then I'd be like, well, all right.
Now, speaking of Uncharted, Uncharted, the movie
bad
version.
Week for Tom Holland.
No, not good. Loses director. I mean, this is like the fourth director this movie's had. Yeah. Originally, it was going to be David O. Russell and Mark Wahlberg was going to play Nathan Drake, and then I think Neil Berger was supposed to do it. He's the guy who directed Limitless and The Illusionist. And then I think it was supposed to be Seth Gordon, and then now Dan Trachtenberg of
I was really excited.
Cloverfield Lane, 13 Cloverfield Lane.
I was really excited about him having this property.
I mean, he became big after he did that Portal short film. So he knows the video game world and adapting that, and so I was pretty excited. And then now he's out.
Yeah.
No director. Tom Holland's still on the project as a young Nathan Drake.
Sony, stop doing Tom Holland so wrong.
Yeah. So
And so once they announced that Tom Holland was attached to this project, I was kind of bummed because if I'm getting an Uncharted movie, I don't want young Nathan Drake. You know, if I'm being honest, like
yeah, me either. I love Tom Holland.
Me
I
too.
just didn't see the whole thing about Nathan
so I
Drake
think
is like his
it's Uncharted 3 when they do go back and
the
like,
flashbacks or
and
whatever.
you see when he meets Sully and that stuff. Like cool, but that's not what I want the movie to be about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want Nathan Drake, the cool treasure hunter,
Yeah.
in doing his thing. I don't want to see him. I don't need to see him. I don't need the origin story.
Yeah. It's basically like a young Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Right? Like they did that TV series.
It was cool to see when they did, even in the movies. Like, all
With
right,
River Phoenix.
Cool. Opening scene. That's all I needed. I didn't need a
Yeah.
whole River Phoenix movie of how he becomes Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's not what's interesting.
Yeah.
It's him out having adventures.
Yeah.
You know? Do you see that? You saw the Nathan Fillion fan film?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the speed I want. Like,
Yeah.
of course, it doesn't. You could tell it's a very low budget
Yeah.
fan film.
But he's got the vibe.
Yeah, that's what's fun. He's becoming Nathan Drake, but like we love Nathan Drake already. Like when he becomes the cocky, arrogant guy,
Yeah.
that's what makes his character interesting. He learned how to do that as a kid. Like I don't need to see him learn to do that. I want to see him already do that. There's not going to be any Elena in this now. There's not going to be like. I don't even think this movie's going to happen. If we're going to be honest, like, video game movies are notorious for already not having a high success rate of even happening when they're announced. How many movies get announced and then canceled?
Well,
Assassin's
Uncharted is
Creed.
starting to get into that Crow reboot area.
Yeah.
That Crow movie that keeps getting recast over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again with new directors, and
That development
every
hell.
6 months to a year we hear about it's still happening, and then it's not.
Yeah.
This is kind of getting into that area because they've been talking about this thing for a while.
Right.
So
And especially when they go from, it's going to be Mark Wahlberg, and then no, we're going to do, like, they don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know. They just know that they have the property, right? Sony owns it, so it's like they're going to try until they figure it out, but it's not looking good. It's already an uphill battle making a video game movie for whatever reason.
yeah, I mean, let's see if the TV series can do better. Just because we got a bunch of them, The Witcher. They're working on the Resident Evil one.
Yep.
Maybe
Final Fantasy. There's a Final Fantasy
yeah,
one.
like maybe they'll translate better into a television format. Who knows? Oh, Halo. As well. So, and they're putting a lot of money
Yeah,
into
because
that.
stuff like, like the Tomb Raider movie,
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't hate on it like some people.
And they stuck to that reboot game.
Oh, yeah.
Really close, which was cool because you don't really see that in video
The
game
look
movies.
and feel was very similar.
Usually, like with Assassin's Creed, like they strayed away from the games a lot.
Oh, that Assassin's Creed movie is terrible.
And the second one got canceled by Disney.
They were going to make a second one of those?
Well, because it was a Fox movie, and now it's owned by Disney, and Disney canceled it.
Why would you make a
I know.
second one of
But the
those?
cool thing about the Tomb Raider movie was it did stick to the story of that game, like to a T. The problem is it's a 15 to 20 hour game into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
It was like you couldn't do it. It's
That-
tough to do. So so TV shows maybe have the better chance.
Speaking of how you're saying, like, oh, well, young Nathan Drake, like,
Yeah.
we don't really need to see him. It's cool, the little flashbacks we want. That's how I feel about Assassin's Creed. It's like, Assassin's Creed, we want to see them in the old times,
Yeah, it was
in the memories.
Yeah.
Everything was in modern day.
Right.
And I was like, what the?
Yeah.
This is not what people. I'm not.
No.
I don't even like it in the game. To be honest, I don't even like it in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't like when that kind of fourth wall gets broken down. I'm like, just stick me over.
they took-
I don't need that kind of contrivance of okay, you're really just. I think the only reason they do that is so they could tie like the different time periods together.
Right.
It's like you don't need a story thing to tie together. You could just call it Assassin's Creed and then just whatever,
Right.
whatever locations.
Yeah.
So, next story we've got. So, last week, I guess it was announced. Respawn announced that there was some like very exclusive loot boxes to get very
Ugh.
very hard to get like legendary skins and then you can only obtain them by purchasing them. But obviously, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I think the prices were a little extravagant, and so they were getting a lot of flack for that. And I think it was their community manager had gone into Reddit and had ended up it's actually not the community manager, the project lead. He was seeing a lot of people ripping on Apex Legends and whatnot, and he wrote this message back to they didn't say what the comment was, but it said vitriolic. I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships back then. And then it just became this whole thing, and then people got upset and offended. So the CEO of Respawn came out and apologized, saying that some of our folks crossed the line. That's not how we want to be represented. We apologize to our fans that are offended. I have to be honest. I mean, gamers can be the biggest whiners. And look, there's movie fans that are a bunch of whiners. TV fans are a bunch of whiners.
Star Wars fans.
Everyone.
Fans.
I'm not saying it's exclusive to gaming.
Fans,
I'm not saying it's exclusive to gaming. I'm just saying gaming has, a good amount of these. Probably shouldn't have said that, but it wasn't that big a deal.
No.
And
he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
I'd do it. I complain about games a lot, and it's because I'm passionate about it. I enjoy it.
But I think what he's talking about, he's not talking about people complaining. He's talking about the vitriol, because people take it to another.
And that's the internet culture. That's the hiding behind a keyboard.
Yeah, it happened with Game of Thrones, like you mentioned, where it's beyond that, where people are saying Benioff and Weiss are a bunch of imbeciles and morons, and it's do you not understand, even if you don't like that last season of Game of Thrones, that they brought this project to HBO, got it, developed wonderful seasons, even if you don't like the last one, that they helped produce and write, you know what I mean? They didn't suddenly become morons and idiots and the worst writers in the world, you know what I mean? This type of hyperbolic statements and comments and vitriol is just no. Like I said, it's okay to criticize. It's even okay to. It's not like I agree with these people know how I feel about these loot boxes. I mean, in one case, I'm saying, okay, Apex Legends is a free game, so they need to make their money some way. I don't know if gouging the consumer is the right way with these things.
I think the big deal of it too is it kind of goes against what Respawn has been saying the whole time.
Yes,
that's kind of the big thing, because an EA,
they're big microtransactions people,
right? And so they kind of muddied up what they've previously been saying about loot boxes. So I think that's what got people riled up. Yes, we tend to overreact on the internet. I don't think what he said was that bad, because the gaming community is an amazing community. He's not wrong in saying that great connections can be made. There's a lot of great things that happen in the gaming community, but at the same time, we can have some bad takes and go a little overboard on things too. So he's not wrong in that regard either. I don't understand why people are be so offended by his comments. Who cares about what he said? I think it's funny. He calls ass hats. That's hilarious. But why does that make you cry at night? It shouldn't. Not enough to warrant a response from the CEO to apologize. I don't like that part of the culture in all regards. That's with comedians, with movies, with TV shows. It's so strange to me. And he's not wrong for saying that, but I mean, because it can happen. But it also is an amazing community, so there's both sides to the coin. But I think this is being really blown out of proportion.
Yeah, definitely. But
stop with the loot boxes, man.
Yeah. Especially if you're throwing in things that are extremely rare. Because then people rare and only purchasable. If they're rare and you can earn them, and it's not extravagant like some of those Battlefront 2 ones where it's like, hey, invest 200 hours and you can unlock Luke Skywalker or whatever. Like, you got to make it reasonable.
Or if it's play to win stuff, especially in a free game.
Yes.
That's when you start to be like, okay.
Yeah.
That's, you're taking away from the point.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Speaking of people complaining, this one I don't really have that big an issue with because at least so far I haven't seen any boycotts or petitions or basically it seems like they're mocking it and making fun of it. But Mortal Kombat, they released the Joker design for, like, there's going to be a Mortal Kombat pack that you can have Spawn, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator T-800, and Joker in there. The Joker design is being kind of made fun of.
Yeah, it's a little subpar.
Yeah, people are saying they showed a picture of the Joker model and they showed a picture of the Joker from a porn parody.
Yeah.
And it showed how similar it was.
Yeah.
People were just joking around. I don't mind this. Like, if you want to complain about the look of it, that's fine as long as you aren't taking it to, like, I hope you guys die or that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think with this, the excitement of having Joker in the game is outweighing the outrage of the way he looks. Because, I'll say it, he doesn't look great in this. He looks foreign. He doesn't look like a Joker that I know. I think that's why. Like, it looks just like, I don't know. The Terminator looks amazing. Arnold looks amazing. Spawn looks amazing. And then you look at Joker and it doesn't look like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like if he didn't have the face paint, it would, and I don't think that's the only, like, iconic part of the character. But, like, if you took that away, you wouldn't know that was the Joker type of thing.
I find this more funny where
it's hilarious.
Like this one tweet, at Alex_Navarro writes, I am generally into Mortal Kombat's random licensed DLC characters, but what's the deal with that Party City clearance rack ass Joker?
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny.
It's funny.
Like, and if you want to complain like that, I think this is the proper way to do it, right?
Yeah. It does look like your friend when you go to a Halloween party who just, like, for 30 minutes spent time to put on makeup to look like the Joker. It does kind of look like that. But this is just Mortal Kombat in NetherRealm is really great about giving us, and I'm not huge into the community. I love Mortal Kombat, but I don't keep up with the combat packs and stuff. But just the fact that you get Spawn and the Terminator was a cool surprise, and Joker, it was such a cool surprise, and having him in Injustice 2 and Injustice is, like, great, but now you get to have him in Mortal Kombat where he gets to kill people. That's gonna be awesome, So it's fun. I think this is all kind of in good fun. Like, I don't think we're going to see boycotts for this. Hopefully not. Like, let's all pump the brakes a little bit. It's okay to not love the design. But
it's okay to voice your criticism, complaints
absolutely.
in a reasonable manner.
Yeah. But I think the fact that he's in the game should outweigh the outrage because it's just a cool thing that they didn't even need to do in the first place. Yeah. So.
I saw a couple things. There's a Westworld VR game that was announced.
Cool.
This game, Moons of Madness. They were demoing at Gamescom, which I thought it looked pretty cool. It's it looks like The Martian meets The Thing or something like that. What are you playing right now?
I just got my hands on Mario Maker 2, which is it's just endless Mario fun. I'm excited about that. I'm going back through Borderlands because I'm getting ready for Borderlands 3 in a couple weeks. So I've played through Borderlands 1, played through Borderlands 2. I'm playing the pre-sequel now.
So you're not boycotting Borderlands?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not a PC gamer. The only reason I started to is because of Game Pass Ultimate, and there's, like, games that I haven't been able to play that I finally get to play now. But I'm not a hardcore PC gamer, so I'm not upset about that. But getting ready for that. I never played the Doom reboot, so that's, like, next on my backlog before November comes.
Before Eternal?
Doom Eternal. So trying to just finish Borderlands pre-sequel, which I don't know. I don't like it as much as Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 1, I guess. But getting ready for Borderlands 3. And once that comes, it's just, like, week after week, because you got Death Stranding in November 8th, and you got Star Wars the week after that, then you got Doom Eternal after that. There's a lot of I love Nintendo, so there's a lot of Nintendo games coming
Well, what do you
out.
think? I don't think you were here for that announcement for the Nintendo Switch Lite. What do you think about that? Because it's a Nintendo Switch that's not really switching anything.
Right, yeah, that's the biggest thing. It doesn't switch at all. Like, you can at least sell a dongle that you can at least, like, it doesn't need to be on a dock, but you can at least do that. I like, it's a cool alternative, I guess, like, if you're not going to
It's like a really advanced Game Boy. Really.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, it's just, the DS, 3DS is going to be gone, so now it's like if you want just a handheld version, I like that there's a D-pad on it because you can't take the Joy-Con off, because that's my biggest complaint about the Joy-Cons.
Is what?
There's no D-pad.
Oh,
it's the 4 circle buttons, but that's because if you use it as a singular controller, you turn it. So I understand why, but with this, you can't detach, so they just put a D-pad on there, so that was good.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's lighter, smaller.
But I'm just holding out for a Pro.
Yeah.
Because I got these big old hands, so I don't mind it if it's bigger.
Okay.
And I'd love bigger Joy-Cons. And, they do have a new model just for the Switch proper. Like, it's in a red box now. It has better battery life, that kind of thing. But for the Lite, it misses me, just because I can't. I'd say 80% of my Switch gaming is on the TV.
Oh, okay.
So.
It's interesting. 80%.
Yeah.
Would have thought it would have been less than that.
No, because I literally only play handheld on my Switch if it's like an hour before I go to bed or whatever, and I'm trying to wind down or something like that.
Do you take it anywhere with you? Like
I do, like planes and stuff like that.
Oh, planes definitely would be a good place.
What it's huge for, but I don't take it like on the street with me on the day to day.
It's still too big for that, right?
Yeah, it is. And even the Lite is not anything. It's only like an inch or so smaller, so it's still going to be quite hefty.
Yeah, it's like if maybe you take public transportation, you want to play it there.
But I do. Like, I'm on the subway a lot, but I'm not going to play my Switch on there. Yeah. Just, it's not.
I don't really play mobile games on my phone. Like, once in a while there'll be a game I'll play. But generally I'm worried about my battery life on my phone, so I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
Yeah, me either.
But I will watch, like, Netflix and YouTube not on my phone.
Yeah.
But that's like in 5 minute increments.
Right, and I always carry a portable battery with me, battery pack, just in case.
I only do that when I'm going somewhere where I know I'm not going to be near because I have a charger in my car.
Yeah.
If I know I'm not going to be near my car and I'm going to be gone for a while, then I'll take a battery.
Nintendo Switch Pro would be great.
Okay.
But the Lite, I like the colors. I like that teal one.
Mm-hmm. Was it a yellow and a teal one?
And then like a grayish kind of black one.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make me get a whole new system.
Yeah.
You can, though. Well, I don't know if they're still doing it, but at GameStop, you could have traded in your Switch, and they would have gave you like $225 for it if it works. So then if you use that towards the new model, not the Lite, but the new model with better battery life, and I think the Joy-Cons might be a little better because they've been having problems with those, is only $75 to upgrade. But
I don't know. I don't know if GameStop's doing anything anymore.
I know.
They just laid off a bunch of people.
I had a great idea to save GameStop.
Okay, what is it?
Just bring back rentals. We don't have game rentals anymore. Like, if I can rent a game from Redbox, why can't I rent a game from GameStop? Do it, GameStop. You know?
Don't know.
Because then I can rent it. Like, there's so many games that, like, I haven't played Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch yet because...
And you don't want to buy it?
I don't want to buy it.
You just want to play it?
I just want to play it. Yeah. It's a 15-hour game. I could do that in a weekend. Yeah. Go rent it, for...
I used to rent games at Blockbuster.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Then that doesn't exist anymore. But you can still rent games at, like, Redbox and stuff. So, like, because I tried to figure out what would be the legality behind it. Like, how would they get around it? But you can rent games... there's GameFly still. That's still a service.
And they should just be a straight-up, like, used game place. Because that's... I don't really buy new games from GameStop, but I'll buy some used games or used accessories.
Yeah. Do it. Rentals. Because then if I'm like, oh, I really like this, then I'll buy it from you. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I don't know.
All right. I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Tony, and thanks for joining us. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tony Revis and on YouTube.com/ScreenPeekers for more gaming goodness.
Cool. And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero and Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ColliderGames, and actually subscribe to our Collider Factory podcast feed.